Believe. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. My name's Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world. And guys, the state of the market is almost there. We're starting to see the moves into altcoins. We're seeing it pick up every day. As a matter of fact, for a lot of us, we're looking in disbelief because it's been so long since we've really had that blow off sort of altcoin season that the fact that we're seeing it manifest itself right now seems to be a little bit surreal. So make sure you hit the like button on the way in. We're going to talk about all of that. Crow is still pumping this morning. Solana is continuing its pump. Ethereum and XRP most likely going to follow. However, we did have a breaking story just a few moments ago where a guy, I don't know if you like him or not, but I am not a fan because he is a what you would call a rug pull mechanic who says that he's not, that does all these little investigations and stuff like that. Says that I'm done with Ripple, that Ripple is no good and that it's just exit liquidity for insiders and just, you know, over and over and over again. This poor guy goes from you know what, let me just show it to you and then you can check it out for yourself. Okay. By the way, the guy, Zach XBT says, and this post has been deleted. However, the rest of the comments remain, and it is, I do not currently assist the XRP community and will make fun of anyone that is if they send me a DM. By the way, guy that stole money from you in a rug pull. What the XRP community did to bro? He says Ripple holders provide nothing of value to the industry except exit liquidity for insiders, thus are not worth supporting. Likewise with Cardano, Pulse Chain, and Hedera. So the rug pull doctor who pretends to be a forensic investigator is now judging one of the largest crypto projects anywhere and calling it a game or a scam or, you know, whatever it is that he's doing. So from one scam artist to another, good game, Zach. Bozo. Oh my God. Did I say that out loud? I was thinking that. I wasn't saying that out loud. So anyway, let's talk bull market peak indicators. We have 30 bull market peak indicators. None of them are triggered right now. None of them are triggered. Why? Because we are about to go so much higher. And there are a few of these. And by the way, you can go check some of these out. You can see the historical data and you can see them on the charts. So if you're looking like the crypto bull run index, just to give you guys an example of what it looks like right here. There's the Bitcoin index. There's the price. You can see how it, you know, it fluctuates in value over time, but ultimately, you know, it's bad when you see that flash over. This is going to be new territory. So, you know what? Stefan says, where you see Crow clip, grabbed a little. So, by the way, let me tell you, I was wrong. I was wrong completely about Crow. Now, when you look at my chart, I'm not going to look wrong. I'm going to look absolutely 100% right. But what I put on the chart is not what I told you guys. What I put on the chart was totally different. So let's stop for a second. And let's go check out Crow, and I'll tell you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean here. First of all, before we get any further into this, I wanted to point this out. Remember, this is all about capital coming into the market. This is all about the money printer being turned on. Are we going to continue the bull run? Is it going to keep going? This yellow line right here, all the way up there, look at that. We are about to go to an all-time high on money supply. So what I'm going to tell you is that we are about to go so much higher. We have not even finished, and we didn't even get to this parabolic part of this cycle. We're just now coming into it as we speak. So there is a time right now to get excited, and I think that that's going to be today. By the way, I changed my lighting, so I might have a few issues here for a little while as I get it worked out and sorted. So, if you're like, oh my God, Bleev's handsome face, we want to see that even better. Good news. We have a new lighting system in here. We're going to be making some changes over the next couple of days, trying to figure it out, probably over the weekend. Anyway, back to this. Money flowing to the positive. Just wanted to point that out. Now, let's go back to say, what did I say was going to happen? And by the way, if I get technical and I get quote unquote granular in it, I call this goddamn thing perfectly. However, what did I say? I said I would sell at 20 and I would look for a rejection for it to come back down. Well, unfortunately, it coming back down at 20 cents ended up being 18 cents. Like, it did not come back down. It consolidated at 20 cents. But anyway, I said I would sell right there because, and by the way, reason I would sell is because my DCA was about 9 cents. I was already up 100%. I made my money, right? So then what happens? What I said at that point was, well, I would suspect yesterday, and I think this was yesterday, I said, I would suspect that it's going to reject at around 30 cents. And guess what? If I look at it on the hour, it rejected at 30 cents, exactly where I told you guys it was going to reject. Here's the problem. Problem is it didn't really reject very much. It really just went back down to 25 cents. And it just kept going, by the way. And by the way, this looks like an Elliott wave just sort of playing out here right now. Now, that does mean it's probably going to go higher. And then where did I give you up here as the top? This is going to be by the way, to make this one kind of flesh itself out, we're going to need a volume profile. We're going to need to go back to the daily. And what I said was right here in this range, we did this. And by the way, we did this number right here about 6 months ago. And I said right there in this little range right there, that's where the trade volume is. So I would suspect that we're going to see a rejection when we get to that range. And then we took the horizontal ray on it and we put it right there. And guess what? 40 cents. So I said, 40 cents probably going to be the top right there for the reject. Doesn't mean it's going to be the top of the market, but it does mean that, it'd take a lot to get to 40 cents. Well, guess what? Son of a bitch, if we didn't get to 40 cents. And then reject off of it back down to 34. Now, the way that it's looking right now seems to me like we're probably going to go so much higher. The reason for that is because look at the way that it's breaking out. You're minting higher lows as you go. So it could reject at any moment because I don't think that this partnership is that big of a deal ultimately. And I think a lot of people are just kind of FOMOing at this point because they see what we've all been waiting for. Okay. Here's what we want. John Doe actually says it perfectly. We want a Trump pump, but we haven't really seen altcoins get that moment. We've seen the markets holding back what's going on in these markets. Okay. You got to ask yourself, you have to ask yourself this. It's a very simple question. When I look at the way that the money is flowing, when I really examine the ETF, just the ETFs, okay, what do I see? I see capital inflow to the tune of $54 billion, okay? Capital inflow for $54 billion. What does that mean to the Bitcoin price? Well, to the Bitcoin price since March of 2024, when we got the ETF, which, right around here, this has been Bitcoin. It's been going absolutely nanners. Now, let's take a step back. What about Ethereum? Well, Ethereum got launched right over here. Right over here. This is where it dipped. This was a FOMO build where we got to 4,000. This is a FOMO build. And then from there, dump after dump after dump on Ethereum. We haven't seen that parabolic run on Ethereum. But wait, there's more. When we go over to the Ethereum ETF, remember, we were not seeing capital inflows, the likes of which we were looking for. Like we have not seen that happen. But guess what? With massive inflows just recently to the $13.67 billion, guys, we've seen massive inflows in Ethereum. But let's go back one more time and let's look. Does that look like massive inflows to the same level? A quarter of the capital inflows in the ETFs now are Ethereum. That's 13 billion compared to 54 billion for the Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so 25% of that. Let's just kind of, we're going to do a raw stupid number. Okay, we're going to do a raw stupid number. We're going to go back. We're going to look at where we were at the boom. This is where we launched right here, right? Boom. And then what is our upside potential here off of that little boom, 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 boom? 95. You know what? I think it's a little bit higher. Oh shit, it is a lot higher. So we're talking about 110%. So, about 25% of that is going to be about 30, right? So if we look at 30% of the top, which is, again, when it launched, we're looking for 30%. We're looking for 30%. 30% is 5,318. We haven't even seen the same thing happen with Ethereum yet. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm saying that when you look at this, you understand we are not even close to where we should be as a top right now based on capital inflows into this. Now, one of the prohibiting factors has been, and by the way, I'm going to give you a prohibiting factor, but it's a raw one, all right? And that is staking. Staking is not available for Ethereum, not yet on the ETFs. However, that doesn't change capital inflow. So what are we actually seeing? Oh, and by the way, I should point out one of the quote unquote problems with Ethereum right now. And I don't think that it's a huge problem, but I think that it is an obstacle. And that is that if you stake, if you provide staking, you're talking about it as a speculative asset with the ETF, but you're not talking about the rewards that you get from staking. The rewards that you get from staking are 3%. If I had $1 million right now to throw at something, my choices would be I could stake $1 million in Ethereum and earn 3%. Or, and by the way, if I did that and I had been doing that and the Ethereum price appreciates dramatically, then there's potential for enormous upside. So I'm interested in it. But if I'm a normal TradFi consumer, I would actually be better off if I just put my if I just took my $1 million and put it into Coinbase and let USDC just perform yield on it for 4.5% versus the 3%. Now again, that's a stable coin giving you 4.5%. Ethereum giving you 3% is actually a better reward, but I'm in the market where I wouldn't see that. Traditional finance doesn't really see it that way. The smarts, the institutions, they might, but the traditional person is like, I want safety and security. That's why we do bond yields, because it's almost guaranteed money. And the fact that USDC right now is beating bond yields is a great sign for crypto. So, there's a complicated scenario playing out here, which I think has been prohibitive from Ethereum popping. But any day now, we're going to get that announcement and they're going to say staking is available for Ethereum ETFs. And we're going to go to the moon. Okay. I think that's the catalyst that's going to lead to that. So anyway, back to the market. None of these indicators have flashed, and it doesn't matter where we go. It doesn't matter where we look. Everything looks like we're getting, warmer. We're getting warm. Look at the green lines telling you whether we're hitting or not. We've got a few of them that are flashing pretty close. Bitcoin trend indicator is getting pretty close. We got the golden ratio multiplier, which is getting pretty close. But I mean, look at this. There's not a blow off that's happened yet. So, until we see that, no blow off. Anyway, if you haven't already, we got another video coming out at 4:30 today. We got one going out on Saturday. I gave you an early indicator of a pre-sale launch if you are a member of the chat, $4.99 a month. it's been moved to Saturday instead of today. So the video didn't come out, but I made a post in private chat. Okay. So that one is going to be delayed until Saturday. And you're going to be able to buy. There's no contract address yet because they haven't launched it. There's no pre-sale available either. So if you want to become a member, it's $4.99 a month. You're going to get the inroad on that one. I'm not promising you multi-million-dollar market cap, by the way. I'm just saying that if you get into something very early and you get your profit out right away, then you have an opportunity right there for a massive gain. And then you can move on to a next one and then see what this one does in the bull run. And to be fair, I'm going to show you. Let me see how I can show you. God damn it. I want to show you the artwork because I think it's very, very funny. Let me just, you know what? Spoiler alert. If you're not a paying member, close your eyes. But this is what it's going to be. It's going to be called Wrecked. So I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a really fun one. And the whole idea behind it is, have you ever been wrecked in crypto? This is going to be the one for you. Total meme coin, but should be a lot of fun overall. So if you haven't already, again, $4.99 a month to become a member, and it helps me out tremendously. Also, Blocky up 90% on the day. We got Roger King in the house, still in pump mode. Now, when I look at it, there's still some work to do. There's still some range to go on. We just met that big resistance sort of level right there. And the question is it going to break through this resistance? Now, to be fair, if it does not break through this level, there's the original right there. So there's a little bit of buying right there. There's a little bit holding the floor. Those people are going to be motivated sellers. And the same thing kind of right here. Those people are going to be motivated sellers. But generally speaking, once you break through that, then until you get to the 309, which is about another 3x from where we are right now, until you get there, there's really no resistance. So if this trend continues, there could be a breakout for Blocky. All right. Now, if that does come to pass, then you've now got that 0.001 area, which is going to act as your resistance. Of course, remove that. It's going to act as your resistance right there. So, take it for what you will. Like, we might have a nice little breakout happening right here, but in order for that to happen, we're still going to have to get up into this range. And then if that were to happen, there really is a path to about a half a cent and then a penny. If we're breaking it down, we're breaking it down over the longer term here, then there's some real potential here. And it doesn't take much to really get a nice little run going, right? So we're still looking at a 10 million, 20 million, 30 million market cap here. And by the way, I think there is a partnership out there on the horizon. I'm not sure if I can say like what the circumstances are yet. So just know that if you're an early insider, you might be in for a quite the little ride. Is it going to be life-changing? Maybe. You never really know. The important part is that you have yourself a little bag of it just in case it pops off. I mean, you put $100, $200, $500 into it, you might get a good return on it. Might. Remember, it's on 100% pump right about now off of, I want to say over the last couple of days, it's been a pretty phenomenal return. So what's the total return here? I want to say it's 300% right now. So off of that breakout right there, you're up 205% right now. So if you are one of the buyers that got in on this bottom and you're up a couple 100% right now, then, this is going to be a good run for you. But I do think it's going to continue. I think it's going to continue quite a bit. So become a member of the channel. You're going to get inside intel on stuff before everybody else does. Also, put your username in, and we're going to do a drawing at the end. If you put your username for terracasino.io, then we're going to have a drawing at the end of the show, and we'll pick another $50 winner. People are winning $50 every day. So opportunity for you. Put your @ for the username for terracasino.io. If you're trading meme coins, Terra Luna Classic, there's a lot going on, by the way, but go to terraport.finance to trade all your meme coin and utility coins in the Terra Luna Classic universe. Now, you do know that trade volume has been down. It should be evident. It should be obvious. Trade volume has been down, but there's going to be some changes that are happening in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem coming very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. And when that happens, I think you're going to see a paradigm shift in a lot of different things on the Terra Luna Classic blockchain. It's going to start with Terra Luna Classic, but there's a big USTC bid right now to get it back to $1 as a stable coin. Okay, I mean, it's huge, by the way. You convert your USTC to USTR, your rewards are UST1. I think that's what it was, UST1. And over a short period of time, and I mean like 90 days, that you're going to go from a 1 cent peg to a 2 cent peg to like a 4 or 5 cent peg, then to a 10 cent peg, and it's going to burn supply on USTC. It's going to, like, the whole idea here is to bring USTC back to the norm, to put USTC back to rights. And it's going to be done, by the way, on the BSC chain, because the BSC chain is way more active and there's way more opportunity over there to do a burn on another chain. So this is an innovative solution. And then that doesn't even get into the USTD from Redline Drifter. So there's still there's a new stable coin on the block, USTD, that's set to replace USTC. And then that doesn't even mention that USDC is now on the Terra Luna Classic blockchain, which was not the case before. So there's a lot happening underneath. You just haven't seen it blow up into something big yet, but it will, because speculative assets will start to run. And that drives me crazy. I hope they rename it. USTD is just out of control. Like, are you not reading the room? You know what I mean? Like, that's, oh man, like that just seems ridiculous to me. But you know what? It's their coin. Anyway, if you haven't already, I would certainly grab myself some USTC at least. Not a big fan of it, but I would grab some USTC and some LUNC. Also, if you haven't, get yourself some meme linked. Again, you don't have to you don't have to, here's what you have to remember. Pablo Crow was the spokesperson for Volt, took it to 250 million market cap. Okay. 250 million market cap. Crazy. Also, Meme Linked has had some significant runs, and each of his other projects have had some significant runs. Now, I say each of his other projects because they're all kind of rolled into one sort of project. Originally it was just a little something different. It had a more dirty name. Monkey Shit Inu, if you guys remember. And remember, what's a 20-something million market cap? And also MK has already gone to 16 million market cap. Okay. And it's consolidating right here for a breakout. And here's the thing. This is the part that I want you to know about Meme Link. This is the important part for Meme Link. Okay. Pablo knows how important exchanges are. He knows how imperative they are to markets. So he's going to list Meme Link on a lot of exchanges. And don't forget here, $243,000 in liquidity are available right now in Meme Link, which means that there are life-changing level numbers here in a Pablo Crow project. Now, token, let's go over here to the website real quick so you can see it. Meme Link, a DeFi project on Ethereum where memes meet social media. These are all the things. This is what it is. DeFi social network, GameFi, and memes. All right. So the DeFi social network platform provides a space where users can engage, connect, and grow within the DeFi community with interactive features and project spotlights, user experiences, innovative approach to organic exposure and community-driven growth. And we need things like that in this ecosystem. We're not all fans of Telegram. We're not all fans of all these different ones. So we need places where we can really get to and where we can really go and we can really start to grow whatever it is that we're doing. Also, I think it's important and imperative that we recognize that the market trends, the market cycles mean that there's going to be amazing runs at some point. And one of those amazing runs, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Meme Linked. Okay. It's going to be Meme Linked. And by the way, don't forget that Pablo is a big time guy. Like Pablo has the ability. Also, shout out to Rich Jones, who just became a member of the channel. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. All the secret details and intel is available to you if you become a member of the channel. And we've got Crypto Princess in the house. I just responded to you on Telegram so that you have my answer on that. I'm going to do what you asked, but I don't think that I don't think right now is going to be a great time. Matter of fact, I had a conversation last night and I'm pretty sure It's not going to be, but I don't know. So I'll reach out, I'll put in the query, and I'll let you know what happens. Anyway, moving on here. Meme link, guy, get yourself some meme link, get yourself some CC coin, get yourself all of the CC coins. And don't forget, this is an ecosystem that's going to expand. If you are holding CC Cash, you're going to receive CCC. If you're holding BUD2, you're going to receive CCC. If you're holding, what is this? We don't know yet, but if you hold it, you're going to receive Blockchain Beauties. Blockchain Beauties is part of the CCC ecosystem. If you hold CCR, you're going to, if you add liquidity, become a liquidity provider. By the way, you go to Radium and you add liquidity to it, then you're going to receive CCR as your reward. Then you're going to stake your CCC and you're going to receive CCR as your reward. So a lot of opportunity for you if you have the guts. Get yourself into the CCC ecosystem. And remember, there is a launch coming. It's going to be the first of several launches that are going to come. And I think that it's going to be an amazing opportunity. Will it play out good? Again, I gave you 10 million market cap for CC coin, which I think would be amazing. But everything else would get drug up by the same sort of by the same sort of excitement and FOMO build that would happen right there. We're getting into the banana zone. When we get to the banana zone, crazy things are going to happen. Like it could go to 100 million market cap for all I know. I just think that for me, 10 million market cap for CC coin would be an amazing accomplishment. And fingers crossed for it. I want to see this entire ecosystem start to really, really blow up. You know, not for me. I mean, I don't like look, I don't need it as money. I want, look, I'm going to sell if we get a nice little pump. I'm going to take a profit off of it. I've been talking about it for a long time. I don't get paid, by the way, for promoting CC coin. I do it because I want to, because I like these guys. So the important part to that is, though, I think, when it pumps and stuff like that, I think it's going to validate the work that they've put in, and I want to see them win, basically. So we'll see what happens there. Also, Devi, yesterday they talked about, there is a, if you're interested in it, go look at it. It's called S2. And it's the conversation really is about how some of this stuff is going to go. There's been some people who have, kind of put together like on a tea leaf sort of basis, like this is what you can expect. This is what you can see, stuff like that. And I would encourage you, if you're interested in Devi, go check it out. Certainly, absolutely go check it out. Oh, by the way, DJ and Brian says, did you see Believe's post? Just so you guys know, let me go see where, because I have issues. There we go. Motherfucker, get that. Why is that happening? I can't read my own post. Don't promote. It blocked me. Look at this shit. Just wanted to point out that my man Matty B is just like a stable coin, just in that they can both be pegged for $1. Do I have issues? Yes, I do. Do I care? I mean, kind of, but not really. Anyway, and shout out to Matty B. Matty B is one of the realists. He's been here since the beginning. I mean, like, look, let's face facts here. Matty B got on a boat from Italy to come to America just so he could watch the Believes Crypto Show every day. That doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't happen overnight. I mean, he was on a boat for months, just sailing here so he could watch me every morning. Absolutely crazy. So shout out to Matty B. He is the realist of the real. Speaking of the realist of the real, remember, Definity Markets is about to blow up. Definity Markets, 5 million market cap right now. Join the conversation with Definity Markets on Telegram. If you're interested, you can come over here and check it out. Stay informed, share insight, and connect directly with our team and community, from market trends to platform updates and friendly chats. What do they do? Forex trading is what they do. That is their main purpose, and that is what institutions love. $12 trillion in $12 trillion a month is the number in Forex trading. That is wild, okay? That is a wild amount of money being traded every day between currencies for profit. Basically, what we're doing is we're buying some pounds with our US dollars. We're holding the pounds until they increase in value when we're speculating on it. When they increase in value versus the US dollar, then what do? Bam. We sell it back to USD, or we look for another asset which we think is going to pump. Again, we're looking for the comparisons between all of these foreign exchanges, and we're trying to find the best value to continue to pump our bag. And Definity Market makes that easy by tokenizing what you're doing instead of making you have to trade in the traditional way. And also that means that you can do it for 24/7. You are not subject to 9 to 5 rules or anything like that. So you can trade Forex money at any given time. Go check out Definity today. Now, there's our big gainer right now. Look, by the way, Pith Network up 45% on the day. Crow up 35%. These are the top 100s, by the way. This is what I keep telling you guys. This is what we're looking for. Now, we're not seeing it everywhere. We're not seeing like breakout, but we're seeing some nice move. Conflux, 10% on the day. Pith, 45%. Crow up another 35%, moving into the second area. VVS up 24%. LPT, 9%. But again, we're seeing some downward push on a few of the projects. We're not seeing like that real absolute banger. And again, by the way, even if Crow breaks out, it's still going to be Ethereum. This is still Ethereum's game at this point. Solana, also, by the way, you know what? What did Solana look like on this chart? Because Solana has been great for the last couple of days. Solana's up 3% on the day. Now, that's not huge. However, I mean, look at Solana since, what is this? August, April. It's April 9. Let's just go over here, right here. Since the start of July-ish at 129, it's up almost 100%. Like, it's breaking out. It's having a nice run. And if we just look at, say, August, what is this? The August 19, August. Here we go. There we go. Down there at the bottom of August. Since the start of August, 40%. What a month for Solana. Guys, you had $10,000 in Solana at the start of this month. You now have $14,000 in Solana at the end of this month. I mean, that is a fantastic move. That's the kind of return that you're looking for on all of your investments every single day. And Solana right now is giving it to you. Of course, Ethereum is doing the same thing. And remember, that's where the big money is. All right. Also, the big money, XRP. So what we need to see, still, I'm going to reiterate this one more time. We need to see Bitcoin have another big breakout. Okay. Now, it did not do what I said it's probably going to do, which is it didn't dump down into the bottom of this range right here. I think that 108,000 is, by the way, there's a CME futures gap at around 92,000. So I don't think that that's going to get filled. Yeah, right there. So that's the CME futures gap right now, sitting around 92,000. I don't see a path for that. So, and it's unfilled at this point. So, we look at it on the hourly, by the way. Let me see if there's another one like right there. No, that one got filled. Okay. So, this is the only open gap right now, 92,000. There is a case that could be made that we're going to have a flash crash to 92,000 for some reason. It doesn't make sense right now. Let me point out right now. The Trump administration has done a fairly decent job and they stumbled a little bit in the beginning, but they've made a few mistakes in how they're dealing with some of the markets and stuff like that, right? Hasn't gone incredibly smoothly, but it would take a lot to get down into that 92,000 range one more time. Doesn't mean that we can't, just means that it doesn't look like it. Now, here's the other argument that I could make on it, and then this would make maybe more sense for you because it's possible. But if you look at it from this standpoint, you take a Fibonacci from that impulse move, then guess what? Right below the 618 is where that number is. So in the event that we do start to get a big dump, then I would set some buy orders at 92,000 because that is where I think there's going to be a massive, massive rally. Now, that being said, it does not look like the market is done yet. And by the way, when I say it doesn't look like the market is done, I'm doing it purely from a monetary standpoint, monetary flow. Monetary flow matters right here. If money is pumping into markets, and that's what that yellow line represents, money is pumping into markets, then we're not dumping out of markets. You know what I mean? Also, I think it's time to really kind of look at this and say, you know, like all of this kind of made sense. That upward trajectory right there, we didn't experience that. Like it looks like that dump is kind of drawn out. So all of this is still getting ready to happen in these markets. Now, doesn't mean that we're going to go up and away. There will be dips, there's peaks and valleys, but it doesn't really make sense that we would go to 92,000 at best. I could see a continued breakout here to 150, then a dump back down to 110, maybe something like that, maybe even in this little range right here. But, you know, it really to me looks like upward is the order of the day, upwards and onwards. So, and by the way, I don't have those numbers right. My offset right now is 90 days. So, you know, we'll see. So, ultimately, I think we're going to have a big move. Now, back to these. Boom, boom, boom. All right. RLC is up 31.6%. Guys starting to get those breakouts. Tree, 28%. Corgi AI, 11.8%. US Duck, 27%. Bass, 28%. Launchcoin, 14%. Vita, 18%. Maybe it's Vita. By the way, as I'm going through, I'm seeing a lot of red in meme coins. So it seems like the pump and dump is starting to churn itself a little bit there. So that's about it. There's some other gainers. There's some other losers along the way. We'll see how it plays out. Fear and Greed Index back down to 48. So again, I could see, because it's at 48, because we're neutral, basically, I could see it going any way. I see the money flow saying that we're going up. But one thing about that money flow, by the way, I do want to stress one more time on money flow before we go further is we don't have this pegged in, except for like right there. We have that little move right there. I can't get too close into it, but when you kind of zoom and move around, you see that there's a pump right there, and there's a dump that comes into that, and there's a pump right there, and there's a dump that comes into that. And then it leads to a massive upside move, but it seems to be drawn out a little bit longer. So this entire pump phase right there, we don't seem to have that. Now, here's the funny thing. Keep that in mind. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is actually doing that pump thing. So it could be that that pump right there is not Bitcoin related. That's just the entire market. When we come over here to the entire market and we look at it from that context, well, then, you know, the situation changes just a little bit. And we start to see that, you know, maybe we are just absolutely on that trend and it just didn't apply to Bitcoin. So that's a possibility as well. Also, when we look at Solana, Solana's playing out just like, I mean, look at the trend line for it and then look at how it's reacting. So, you know, case can be made that, you know, the overall market is the way that you look at it right now. And the overall market is up, but it may not be Bitcoin. However, again, if we want that money to come flowing in, it has to start with Bitcoin. It doesn't start with anybody else. Okay. So keep that in mind and let's see how it plays out. So we know our Bitcoin overviews. We know our Bitcoin exchange. We're just kind of idling right there. We know our Fear and Greed Index. Again, if you go to 30 on the Fear and Greed Index, go put everything on Bitcoin to run back up massive. Okay. Just guys, I won't be wrong. I'm not going to be wrong. Fear and Greed Index is not wrong. Okay. So if you get to 30, by the way, if you get to 30, doesn't mean we won't go to 20. Doesn't mean we won't go to 10. The idea here is buy when it hits 30, sell when it goes up to 70. The end. That's all. That's all. And then take those profits, fold them over for the next time it goes to 30, and then buy that amount again until it goes to 70. You might go down to 10, might go down to 1. You never know. But when it goes back up to 70, you will be in profit big time again. That is the only method that is tried, true, and tested and will make you millions. So do what you got to do, boo-boo. Anyway, moving on here. We got a little bit of movement from OM. I want to point out some things are happening over here for Mantra, which are kind of neat. All right, so today we are announcing the first $25 million OM token buyback backed by key investors and stakeholders. This is not a burn, by the way. This is a buyback, okay? Together with Invenium IO's recent $20 million investment, total commitments now reach $45 million, reinforcing strong institutional confidence in OM's long-term value. Mantra's wider RWA ecosystem and work to bring the world on chain. Now, if you're one of them top buying ass bitches, you're probably not going to like it. You're probably still going to be like, I'm in this scam, because you're dumb like that. You know, you buy tops like, what are you, top or a bottom? You know what I'm talking about. Homos. Anyway, so a quick breakdown of yesterday's $25 million token buyback announcement. This $25 million commitment comes from the Invenium IO's recent $20 million investment. So the buyback will be executed transparently over several months, meaning that for the next several months, Mantra is going to be buying $25 million worth of their own token and they're going to be doing it with recurring buy orders at or near market prices, which means that they're going to pump their own bags. They're going to pump the charts across top centralized exchanges by independent trading firms. And it's going to be withdrawn from exchanges, migrated to the Mantra chain mainnet, and then staked with validators. Okay. At current prices, the program equals 105 million OM tokens, or 10% of the circulating supply. That's not just a buyback. That's a strong vote of confidence in OM's future. And what they're going to do is basically, in this context, supply reduction of 10% for Mantra over the short term. That is a crazy thing to see happening and potentially playing out. Now you've got JP Mullen, which he just made a cool post here. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There was the quick breakdown. He was real excited about something. Might have deleted it. Might have gotten ahead of the game just a little bit, but he made a comment and it made my jaw drop. I was like, oh shit. And it was just recently. Yeah, he might have deleted it. Oh, there it is. Mantra USD. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, because somebody says, was this a serious post? Yes. Mantra native yield coin coming. Mantra is going to have its own stable coin. So instead of dying like everybody kind of expected, this thing is rebuilding and reloading for the future. So to me, future is so bright. How bright is it? Well, look, I know maybe for some of you, because you can't see the forest through the trees, you're thinking like, this is ridiculous. Like, why would you be doing this? But guess what? I bought more OM this morning. My DCA on one exchange, by the way, is now down to 35 cents. So I've DCA'd down 35 cents. I now hold 6,000. I had to sell some the other day because I had to pay a bill and I didn't want to cash out a different crypto. And I had put some money in at like 22 cents and it pumped up to like 30 cents. You know, remember the other day? So I sold some of it. And now on the dip, I keep buying more, like every day or every other day. I just bought like $50 more this morning. So, and by the way, full disclosure, because I guess I shouldn't keep it from you. I'm on weeks as well. You guys know I'm on weeks, but also I bought more over here too, because I make more money every day on weeks than I make on KCEX. I start buying more and more, and I'm buying more over here. So I'm actually buying it in a couple of wallets now. So I'm just going to continue to accumulate OM because, again, are you going to believe me? Or are you going to believe the guy who came on a boat to just so he could be on my shows, right? You going to believe him? Or are you going to believe me? You know what I mean? Maddie B, if that's even your real name, B. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, Crow, by the way, dumping kind of hard right now. Look, that was my bad. That was a bad call. Look, you made some profit if you bought low, but it's not going to sustain. I still don't see it sustaining in the long term. I didn't really care, man, but I knew it. I knew that already. His real name is Matteo Boogaloo. So, Sicilian. Anyway, so the rest of the market, looking around the rest of the market, we're doing really good. I mean, look at where we are for the year. Bitcoin still up 21%, Ethereum now up 37%, XRP up 44%, Solana up 13% when you see that spike. Here's where it gets interesting, right? Meme coin, Dogecoin down 29%. SHIB, where did SHIB go? SHIB, down 40%. So some of these speculative have not been doing very well, okay? But the traditionals have been doing fantastic. Chronos in particular, 125%, having a nice little breakout right now. Fantastic to see. It's exactly what we want to see. Hyperliquid up 100%. Guys, we're seeing gains. We're seeing big moves, and we're just at the start of that banana zone. So we're not far away from where it goes and just starts to really get crazy. Now, 24-hour DEX volume, Solana has now passed Ethereum, which means meme coin season probably on tap. Solana is nothing but meme coins, okay? Ethereum is institutional and meme coins, and people are actually building. Look at the number of protocols. It tells you everything you need to know. There's 350 protocols on Solana. There's 1,587 on Ethereum. And when it comes to total DeFi value locked, and remember this because I told you that it was getting closer and closer and closer. Look at that. Smoked Solana. Rolled them up and smoked them. Has 95 billion locked right now. Remember, it was 45 billion not that long ago. Nuts. All right. So let's go through meme coins, and then we're going to wrap this up. Again, Blocky having a nice little day. CC Cash having a nice little day. WikiCat having a reversal, up 12% on the day. It take me a while before it establishes any level of confidence on WikiCat, but we'll see whether or not we get some gains out of it. Definity up 5% on the day. I expect a little bit more from Definity in the next couple of days. Starting to see, we've got that kind of bottom formed. The market is about to reverse and about to hit that big move. You had some early investors who have sold out. So I think you're going to see kind of a big move happening pretty soon. Rocky AI up 5%, CC Coin up 5%, and they've got a boost on 100x Solana's up 3%, Tars AI 3%, CC Rewards, Bonk Buddy up 1%, Matt Fury's O'Hare kind of sitting idle, Blockchain Beauty's kind of sitting idle, Fias kind of sitting idle today, Mantra down 1%, but keeps going in that 22-cent range. And I accumulate, and then boom, it keeps going back up. So again, I think it's only a matter of time before we really start to see a breakout for OM. Even if there's a 10% gain from it right now, just because of them buying up some of the supply, even if we just see that, then I'm going to be in a big win. Not because overall, by the way, I would be a little bit more than break even. You saw my number there. 35 cents is still a little bit high. Don't forget it went to 40 cents just recently. So I do think that 40 cents is in the cards, but I think let's say 60 or 70 cents might be that next little surge area. I can see this thing starting to really break out as we get into the full on crazy zone. So anyway, Volt down 2%, Devi down another 2%. Man, I still feel bad, by the way, just for full disclosure, guys, I still feel bad. I was in the chat the other day, and Devi, somebody said 50 cents is the floor. And I'm like, no, it's not. It is not the fucking floor. This thing could go so much lower. And I think they feel like they're moving real fast, but they are moving in molasses when it comes down to it. And by the way, that's not because they're doing anything wrong. They're not doing any marketing at all. They're not really doing anything big time for crypto. But they're working diligently in the background to build this infrastructure and this system by which when they make an announcement of their special partner and people start to find this project, they're going to lose their minds because it does everything that everybody else wants to be able to do. So when this game-changing thing happens, and by the way, take your profit because remember, we've got G-Call, we've got there's so many other projects that are out there that might steal a little bit of thunder. Remember, the Google blockchain is already partnered with CME. That's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So just consider, if you will, that, make your profit when you can take your profit. When that announcement is made, when everything happens, get ready. But right now, 38 million market cap. If it goes to 380 million market cap, I made it. You know what I mean? If it goes to $1 billion market cap, I fucking made it. You know what I mean? Like, I made it. So I'm not really worried about it. I understand what's going to happen. I understand I'm in a position here where I feel like there's an explosion getting ready to happen. I'm annoyed that it doesn't happen every day, but what makes it even better is I'm going to be right about API 3. API 3 is back down. It's back down to 117, which means that I've almost got back into my buy order, which is set at $1. So I've got a re-entry into API 3 at $1. And I don't know if it's going to work the same way as that Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index thing, but I just set it for $1 just to see what will happen. And fingers crossed. MK meme link down a little bit. We sold down a little bit. Don't have any confidence in we sold. Like I said before, like I like, they seem like really nice people, but just it's a donation token. People don't buy donation tokens. Like there's no market for that right now. So it's a great concept, by the way. I love the fact that they would take their time and their effort and their money to try to improve the lives of the men and women of the military around the world. But all you're doing is just asking to give the liquidity from one project to people for no upside. You need to build a foundational future for that project. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing? So don't know how that plays out, but I don't really have a lot of confidence that it's going to absolutely break out. So is there anything else that's breaking out right now? I don't see anything breaking out. RLC down 14%. RLC is down 14% because it had a massive pump the day before. Pith breaking out 50%. And by the way, look at this. Like if we look at it, if I just go right here and say, well, it's here, bounce right there. That's what we're always looking for, right? This is what I always tell you. When you get to the bottom of the range, you're looking for a break to the top of the range, and you're looking for a breakout, and you're looking for a break back down, and then you're looking for a bigger breakout. And that's exactly what happened for Pith. That's exactly what it should look like. So when those things happen, possibility of some big money involved, you never know what's going to happen. But 50% in a day, big kind of gain. And guess what? The rest of the market is about to start doing that every single day. We're going to start seeing breakout candidates all of the time. Remember, the money flow still says we are in up mode. We are going to continue to add capital to the crypto markets. The Trump administration is doing everything they can right now to increase the flow into these markets. So it is only a matter of time. By the way, whoever it is that made all that money today on Weeks, shout out to you. Let me see what my number is right now, because somebody won. Somebody won pretty big today on Weeks. So appreciate that. Anyway, guys, if you're not already, trade on Weeks. It helps me out if you do futures. KCEX, if you do futures. Buy yourself some Definity. Get yourself some Devi. Get yourself some CC Coin. Get yourself some meme linked. Go to Terra Casino. Go to Terraport. And then let's make $1 million together. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will talk to you again very, very soon.
I'm looking for the good life, and sitting on top of the world.